So there's the baseball field, the track going around, and we were going this path, from this path where it begins, right here from the Bluestone, 250 steps, 250 yards to 3rd Street. And what we have in here is a bunch of locust trees and then all sorts of invasive species. We'll just lay out a handful of them. One is English ivy. You can see the English ivy climbing that tree, and you can see the English ivy just crushing those trees right there. That's an invasive species. All we want to do is clean this up. In here, it's hard to identify now, but what you had in here was multiflora rose. It's hard to see. A couple weeks ago, you had the white roses on it. It was very pretty, but that's an invasive species. That also climbs up and kills the tree. You also have, climbing up that tree, in addition to the English on the far side in front, you have porcelain berry and oriental bittersweet, just choking the trees out, killing these locust trees, which aren't exactly a hardy tree to begin with. Killed that tree. And also in here, what you have is trees that have fallen down, and then the trees are a breeding ground for the multiflora rose, the mile a minute, the oriental bittersweet. Those trees got to be cleaned out. Here's a view. And you can just see what the trees, the battle they have, and you can see the thickness of these vines over time. The English ivy got in there, and what you have now is English ivy, oriental bittersweet, Japanese honeysuckle. They're all porcelain berry. They're all climbing on top of each other, killing these trees. They're very patient. And here's where we took a whack at it right here. You can see the area where we planted the 16 trees. And back behind the trees, you can see, it's hard to see from here, we'll try to get closer, but there's poison hemlock. That's kind of a white flowering on top of the tree. The poison hemlock, that's what killed Socrates when he had some poison hemlock tea. DPW, Dave Carl is taking a look at that, but you have poison hemlock back there. That beautiful tree is an invasive species. It's just unbelievable. That tree is an invasive species. That tree is an invasive species called the tree of heaven. Back in here, you have some beautiful cherry trees with some locust trees, and you actually have a couple oak trees back there, but it's being choked off by invasives. You can see over here, these trees fell down. These 3 trees have been down since pre-Hurricane Sandy. 3 trees. And they were a breeding ground, especially for the multiflora rose, which we hacked out of there a few weeks ago with the help of the DPW. It's a tremendous amount of work, but we got to get these trees out here too. Again, you can see where we planted. More perspective on the locust trees being taken over by vines, the tree of heavens. And if you go far out there, now I'm looking at over that hill is the brush site. Back there, you see all kinds of trees also being choked off by vines. That's mostly English ivy over there. You can see